Hello there. Hello there, friends, lovers. Oh my God, you good people. Thank you for joining us. This is 5 Minutes with Robert Nasir and Amy Nasir. And it is time to shoot the engineer. Oh wait, we'll get to that.
Oh, that's violent.
We will get to that point. Today is Sunday, July 3rd, 2022. Thank you for joining us. And we're live. We're live in Washington, D.C. We are live from OCON, the Objectivist conference held annually by the Ayn Rand Institute. You didn't think we were going to be here. You didn't have faith in us. Actually, that's what I told you last week. We decided to go for it anyway. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
I have no idea who's joining us because I was just trying to bring up the show on my iPhone. I didn't bring down the iPad.
I'll bring it up. Don't worry.
So yeah, if you can bring it up on one of them, and I'll bring it up on the other because we got to watch the chat. We got to know what people are saying about us because I love to be humiliated. No, seriously, thank you for joining us. This is 5 Minutes with Robert Nasir, and today is July 3rd. Not July 4th, not Independence Day, but we'll get to that too. July 3rd, 2022, the 184th day of this, your best year yet. You have 181 days left to make it so. Now, why do I say that? Why did I have to do a show today? Because lemon and a pear, we are halfway through the year. Time is running out. Now, on the bright side, it's 81 days until autumn in the Northern Hemisphere, or 81 days to wait till spring if you're in Australia or anywhere below the equator. That means you've got 81 days to get busy, and I do mean that the way you think I mean it, but all the ways you want to get busy to make this your best summer as well. Finally, 175 days left until Christmas.
Okay, how many until Halloween?
How many until Halloween? That's a great question, and that's all the answer you're going to get from me. And today, July 3rd, 2022, as we are celebrating live in Washington, D.C., the capital of the world, or at least the country that matters most in the world. I know, that's so wrong, so prejudiced. How can I talk like that?
We're in the swamp.
We're in the swamp. Washington, D.C. was built on a swamp, and some would say it's still there. But on this date, July 3rd, the Battle of Gettysburg ends. Now, this is a 3-day battle, but the most carnage of any of the battles in the Civil War. July 3rd, 1863, that battle ends. And of course, on November 19th, 1863, did I say 53? 63, Lincoln delivers the Gettysburg Address on that site. Why does that matter? Well, for 100 reasons. Of course, Civil War, worst death toll in U.S. history, the war that finally ended the obscenity of slavery in America.
That's right.
But also, if you've been following my Facebook feed, you know that Amy and I went to the Lincoln Memorial and gave our proper respect to the man, Abraham Lincoln. And, of course, there's a reading of me reading the Gettysburg Address.
It's a beautiful reading that Robert did of the Gettysburg Address.
Well,
go ahead and go on Robert's wall and you'll be able to see that. Also, in the comments, I believe, in that post, there's a video of me and I was being interviewed by NBC. They were basically flagging down passersby and asking them, what does the 4th of July mean to you? Now, you can go ahead and answer that question in the chat if you like. And we can certainly ask the people here around us who are with us today in the lobby of the Renaissance Washington, D.C. Downtown Hotel. And it was pretty good. I think I did a fairly good job. It was very extemporaneous, but they got me on film, and I mentioned the Ayn Rand Institute Objectivist Conference. I mentioned concepts about individual rights, and I gave them a little bit of philosophy, and I, told them I was really excited about that, and I was, sad that we were losing a lot of our independence this year, as you all know. But I am committed to giving it the good fight and spreading the right ideas. So it was a good interview with NBC.
That's right. One of the big 3 networks, the only 3 places you could watch television 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago before cable took. Can you remember that?
I can remember.
People talk so much about media bias. I can't watch the news without getting media bias. When I was growing up, we had 3 channels.
I can talk about UHF and not talk about Weird Al Yankovic's movie.
Yeah,
So.
well, we had UHF when I was young, but they didn't have any serious news shows.
Right.
It was all ABC, NBC, CBS, New York Times, maybe the Washington Post or the LA Times. That was it. And now, well, anyway, not getting into that because I also want to Incidentally, if you watch me reading the Gettysburg Address, remember we did a show on things that get you choked up? The pauses that you hear in that speech, trust me, if I hadn't paused, it would have been waterworks. It's a beautiful thing.
A little crowd, little frog in the throat, you know.
Yes. But it's also, July 3rd is Air Conditioning Appreciation Day.
Yay, thank you, Carrier and other companies.
Yes, a big shout out to Willis Carrier, who invented air conditioning in 1902. Back then, they didn't run Freon through the pipes, it was just water. But it gives you the ability to take warm water and send it outside to cool off and bring it in. And I don't even know how he did that without the kind of refrigerants we do. But he did invent air conditioning in 1902. You know, the first automobile air conditioner wasn't until, I thought I wrote that down, 1933. Home air conditioning, now this is interesting, the first home air conditioner was 1929. We think air conditioning was invented in 1902, but that was for industrial purposes. You didn't have air conditioners in your home until Can you imagine that? You know, think of what the summer has been like, and not so much for us in Motown or here in DC, but you know, friends of ours in Phoenix, Arizona, no air conditioning. Thank you. Bow down, all praise to Willis Haviland Carrier.
And I do hope, and I wish for Europe to discover the luxury of air conditioning a little bit more than they do.
And incidentally, who is it that started Air Conditioning Appreciation Day?
Who?
The Air Conditioning and Refrigeration Institute, or ARI. So there you go. Is that a coincidence or what? So what is going on? What is all this mayhem behind me on this July 3rd that we are celebrating today? And the answer is ARI, except this time we mean the Ayn Rand Institute.
They're a bunch of troublemakers,
all these troublemakers back here, all these people attending this in the Renaissance Hotel in Washington, D.C., behind the camera, hanging out, listening to the show, are friends as well. I don't know, they might step in front of the camera if they get brave enough. Yeah,
we've got David, Daniel, Sean, and Gavin.
Oh
my gosh.
Here is Daniel, the producer you know from our Thursday show, Life on Earth, with Robert and Amy Nasir. So there it is. It's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome.
Our purpose here is obviously frivolity and silliness, but we do that every Sunday.
Yes, we do.
This time around, we want to talk about what's been going on first half of this week in OCON.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a month we've been here, but we've only been here since last Thursday. So it's a lot going on. But it's
so why do you care? And the answer is, each day there just seems to be, and it wasn't planned this way, a theme which you will love. You're going to love this. I know you're going to love this because we got here and Amy arranges a DC tour.
Yeah.
What do you mean? We're here for a conference. We're not going to go on a tour. We're not going to see the city. What are we, a bunch of tourists? No, we're going to sit in a room and listen to people talk. But no, Amy is smarter than that.
Well, I want the lay of the land, right? You go to a new city. We haven't actually been here since 2000.
We were kids. Oh, and a protest. That's right.
And
we were here in 2000.
For a protest.
And I was here as a teenager and don't remember any of it. So Amy arranged a trolley tour. And we got on a trolley. Now, you know a trolley is really a bus, but it was cute. It was like a trolley. It was very cool.
It was nice.
And that's when Amy got to be on NBC answering the question, what does July 4th mean to you?
Yeah, the Lincoln Memorial was actually very beautiful. You know, you see it in pictures and you're like, meh. But you go up to this enormous building with just about 1,000 Corinthian columns in it, and you go in, and the sculpture of Abraham Lincoln is just so beautiful. I mean, it's glorious. It's just so well stylized. I mean, everything is just, it's so gorgeous.
And I've told the story before how when Amy sets us up to go on vacations, I tend to think, I've seen pictures of that place. I've gone on Google Earth and flown around that city. It's not going to be that interesting to me, but I'll go along because Amy really... And then it always turns out that I'm the one who is totally floored by the experience.
Yay.
You need to go to the Lincoln Memorial and see the man sitting up there and read his words carved into granite, the Gettysburg Address. It's magnificent. But, of course, you can watch that video of me reading it as well. That first day was all about liberty. Everything, not everything, so many things fit the theme.
Yeah.
The second day was about art. Now, we're here for a conference, but if you were here for art, you could spend a week, you could spend a month in the art museums in Washington. We think of Washington, D.C. as the seat of government in America. The art museums here are amazing. So
They're pretty good.
They're pretty
they're
good.
pretty good.
Unbelievable. So we had an art experience with the man. We've interviewed him on the show. We've recommended him before.
Yeah.
Luke Travers.
Luke Travers.
The man who developed his own way of doing art appreciation, touching the art. And if you go to touchingtheart.com, link is already in the show notes on YouTube, you can see his process. We went there, we got to do that thing at the National Gallery.
The
National Gallery of Art.
Yeah.
Link to that is in the show notes too.
I got to tell you, two of the paintings that he gave presentations on, and he had us learn about in the unique way that he does, and the touching the art way, is they're actually featured in his Stories in Paint book that just came out. So if you're interested, go to luketravers.com, I do believe, and you can get the book there. And it's really, really something special. It's a book unlike you've ever seen. It's interactive. He just put his heart and soul into that book, and it's really lovely. So highly recommend it.
If I look confused, it's because I see Jonathan Honig is in the chat, and he's even offered to buy me a drink. Now I got to find him.
Yeah,
so
where
that he
is
can buy
Jonathan?
me. He's
Tell
here
us where
somewhere.
you are, Jonathan.
There's all these people. You can't even see the whole thing. It's just in this one direction, in the lobby. But yeah, I should have him bring me a whiskey and Coke. But
I think I see him.
is that him? Oh my
think it
gosh!
is.
There is the man. That is so cool.
I think that's him.
The
I'm pretty
chat is active on
sure.
YouTube, and that is good to see. I love it. Because I love the chat, I love you guys, and also, we're always working on our YouTube numbers, and on a night like this, where we didn't really publicize the show much, you, and you know who I'm talking to, you are especially appreciated. Thank you for that. So yes, the second day was all about art. It was Art Day, and it ended with the best kind of art. We should get the man here on camera, because we had the institute that runs this conference.
Yeah.
Usually every other year they alternate between having a karaoke night one night or having a talent show one night.
Yes.
And this year they had so much going on they couldn't do it. And we're like, we got to have karaoke or we got to have a talent show. And they didn't do it.
We made it happen, the karaoke.
We made our own.
Yes.
Do it yourself.
Absolutely. And
So
it was so much fun.
We had the guitars, we had the PA system, so we had the live music, but we also had the karaoke rig, and we switched off. Little of this, little of that.
Yep.
Highlights of the karaoke show, for example, you already saw Daniel on camera, who did a tune, but the man who did 3 or I think 4 tunes, and not just only karaoke, but also playing guitar and singing, was our own Sean Albert, who we have interviewed on this show before. You know him as the amazing teacher who is teaching the way people should be taught, high school students at the Henry Ford Academy.
Yes.
But he's also a singer and guitar player.
Yes, indeed.
Sean, that was great.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun, and thank you for letting me use the guitar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, can you tell us your highlights of the OCON conference at this point?
I mean, the karaoke ranks up there, in all honesty. Just getting to see everybody coming in there, and as a side thing to this whole conference of philosophy and all these intellectual topics, that being able to also experience the fun of music with everybody there, and some of the other performances that you have yet to mention were quite spectacular.
I know.
And really roused the crowd. It was really fun.
I know our friend Chandler was really amazing, and Tully was on there, and you were absolutely wonderful, and it was just great.
And of course, Mike Dart was beyond athletic.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Speaking of
Yes, he
arousing
was.
performances.
It was amazing. Yeah, arousing performances.
Yeah. Lots of famous. Of course, we had Rucka Ali up at
Yes,
one point.
Yes.
I was going to
That's
say,
great.
that man knew how to play a crowd very well.
Oh,
He
It's
does.
very good.
It's always good to have a pro in the room. I mean, we're all pros too.
Sure.
But yeah. Besides that, though, I mean, just the sheer number of people that I've gotten to see again for the first time since 2019.
Yeah.
Also, coming across some people who I thought I'd met in person before, but I just had so much time to see them online that I went up and said, "Hi there, how have you been? It's been so long," and they had no idea who I was.
right?
Oh yeah, have we met?
Oh, you know me very well online.
Oh yeah, I guess we haven't met, but
It's kind of the amazing thing about, and you guys have some more experience because you've been in the Objectivist movement longer than I have, but even from 2016, there was, I remember getting my start and learning about Rand, and there was stuff out there, but it was one of those things where it wasn't immediately obvious how to find everything. And now, as you guys have talked about on numerous occasions before, there's just too much stuff out there to consume it all.
There is.
And it's coming here and getting to see all these people in person and getting to have conversations about everything under the sun, as philosophy properly encompasses. It's incredible. It's really amazing. I've monopolized your time.
It has been,
not
at all.
Not at all.
However long you want to stay on, but it has been a great week so far. It's hard to believe it's only been 3 days of conference, 4 days if you count when we arrived, and we've got that much more to go and then some. So
I shall take my leave.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Sean Albert,
Yay!
the man. And then today we went through Liberty, we went through art. I call today Impact Day. It's all about impact, how to have an impact, how to have more impact in your own life, how to live your own life as you want it to be, because the day started out with Don Watkins. Now, of course, everybody in the objectivist community and a lot of people just in the politics and economics community know Don Watkins, co-author with Yaron Brook of several books on finance and politics.
Delivery
and
here
culture.
was whiskey and Coke, I think was ordered.
Jonathan Honig.
And this is just something a little lighter from
You
a
are
lady.
the man. Thank you, sir.
Great to see you both.
Of course,
lovely.
all
Barging
of
your
our
way on the
ARC
podcast
UK
here.
fans know Jonathan Honig well.
Well,
Oh my gosh, Sean.
we're having such a great time
the
at
man-
I'm
OCON.
such a fan
The
of
man
yours.
behind some of the
I'm
best
honored to
episodes
see
of The
you
Daily
here.
Thank you.
Objective.
Thank
Can I
you,
have a
Amy.
hug?
Sure, of course, of course. I'm such a big fan of the Nasirs, as you know. I mean, their work on the Ayn Rand Center UK, just all around the movement, and we're having such a great time here in Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Across from one of the most beautiful Apple stores I've ever seen. Just a stunning landscape here. So, wish you all were here. We'll see you next year in Miami.
Miami.
Yep. Or if you want to go to Europe, you can go to Athens, Greece.
That's right.
Yes.
Ayn Rand Con Europe is going to be in Athens, Greece.
On April 9th, I believe, or
And
somewhere
then
around.
OCON in Miami. What a great year that's going to
Yeah,
be.
I mean, just really fascinating people from all over the world, each in his and her own little interest, and just all benevolence all around, and just
Yeah.
fascinating talks. I mean, Thomas Schoenbaum's thing this morning, I saw at Scott Joplin, was
Right.
absolutely fascinating,
Oh,
and
goodness, yeah.
just left you kind of leaping out of the room with excitement and enthusiasm. So there's just that great sense of life here. So
That's beautiful.
you guys should be here all over the world,
Yes.
hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go. Do you want anything a little? Can I get you guys some wings?
Oh, no, that's okay. Maybe
Thank
later.
you so much. All right. Again, the great Jonathan
right,
Honig.
we'll see you again.
You know him
Thank
from
you, Jonathan.
finance
Bye.
shows. You know him from ARC UK. Thank you, sir.
Oh, that is so
And again, a
special.
man who has an impact, and
I love
today
it.
is all about impact for me. We started the day with Don Watkins, who gave a talk entitled, Don't Be Boring.
Yes.
Well, there's a not boring title for a show.
Yes.
An outstanding talk on how to have more impact, on how to
Yes.
break through.
On marketing essentials as well. Yeah, it's great.
And I especially loved it because it's an interesting question to me. How is it that people do break through? How do the Jordan Petersons or the Sam Harrises, or less controversial, the Tim Ferrisses of the world, how do they break through? And Don is making a science of that, and he's achieving that himself as well. An outstanding talk. Ben Bayer gave an interesting talk about the genealogy
Of altruism.
of altruism.
Oh, it was fantastic.
And-
he went into the psychological reasons, and he broke it down into different types of culpability of spreading the terrible ideas of altruism, and it was very fascinating.
And I'm sure
I
a lot
loved
of you
it.
take it for granted that altruism is obviously good. If so, this would be a great talk for you to listen to. One of the
Yeah.
great things about these conferences is that some of the talks are live streamed live out to the world. Tsfany's talk, for example, today went out on YouTube already. You can watch that. A lot of these talks will be held back for a little bit because people paid good money to see them, but within 30 to 60 days, you're going to see some of these talks show up on YouTube. I'm sure Ben Bayer as well, and you'll get a chance to watch that as well. But today, again, was all about impact, having an impact. It's one of the things we're going to do with this show, 5 Minutes with Robert Nasir and Amy Nasir,
Yes.
is you will see the changes we talked about have slowly been happening. They're going to continue to happen. More impact. We want, of course, you to come along with us. We wouldn't be doing this if you weren't there.
That's right. One of the things I want to mention and just give a shout out to some people I've had some, you know how Ayn Rand and Marianne Suarez got together and they had a glorious lunch.
The glorious lunch break.
Yes,
The
and
copper pot objectivism
and
story.
They talked about something very personal to each other and very encouraging to Marianne, and it was very inspiring for her, but also just very meaningful and rich for her, and she really got a lot out of it. Well, I got to tell you, I've had a lot of those kinds of glorious lunch breaks here at OCON, Objectivist conferences. And I just want to give out a shout out to some people who have had lovely conversations with so far. We've got Chandler, you know who you are, Jeremy, Kathy Cross, who works for ARI, and Halali. And we've had some great conversations, and that's not just everybody. If I'm missing anybody, I apologize, but I've had some really meaningful, very, very, very deep and just beautiful conversations.
Yeah, it's hard to shout people out because then you end up missing people.
know,
And you're like,
and then
David Hayes is here in
And
person,
David
who knows
Hayes
more
is
about
here.
objectivism than you'll ever forget.
Would you like to come on over, David? You're eating. Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's eating. It's the
We're catching
inimitable
people enjoying
David
their dinner
Hayes.
here.
He is amazing.
Amazing stuff. Incidentally, in the chat, we've got some interesting comments too. Maybe I need to move the camera there because I'm catching myself going off cam. But no, for example, where am I at here?
Well, we have a lot of people. We have Apollo. We've got
Well, Steve
Bonnie.
Henderson pointed out the only thing missing was the trampoline.
Oh, yes.
Now, you need a reference for that because we have more than once at our own personal convention, GlowCon, Great Lakes Objectivist Conference, had karaoke. 2 of the times we did it, and by special command of Her Highness, Mrs. Nasir,
Yes, yes. This is,
trampoline karaoke.
patent pending, and
All
'cause that's
rights reserved.
it's my own creation. It's my own little baby, and so yeah, if you have a trampoline and if you want to sing karaoke with a wireless mic while on the trampoline, then you'll have to send me residuals, please. Because,
okay.
you know,
That could be expensive.
it's a trader principal thing.
Right. Now, Stephen asked, because of Miami, he says, isn't OCON supposed to alternate east-west? 2 East Coast OCONs
You know,
in a
this is
row?
the
And the
first
answer to that
time-
is that it's been a rule of thumb, but it's not really a rule.
Yeah.
It makes sense to do that, but this time the difference between doing Washington, D.C. and doing Miami is complete. It's 2 entirely different domains. I can see the concern that, some people are driving. We drove here, for example, from Motown. But it is what it is, and I don't think it was ever a hard and fast rule. And just going through the chat here, and
And we've got Doug. Would you like to say hello?
Doug, say hi to the
We're having a
world.
great time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doug. And he speaks the truth. Doug does. Yes, Doug is the husband of a good friend who is Steph, and hopefully she'll be able to see this later on.
Yeah, incidentally, the great Bonnie Bertrand says, David is a pro. So you see, all we got to do is say your name, and you're getting the shout-outs that you so richly deserve.
You know, you are worldwide famous.
Yes, and Equal Reality asks, will you be at OCON or ARI, the Ayn Rand Con Europe next year? The answer is absolutely, I don't know.
I have no idea.
No idea. Probably. The short answer,
You know,
I guess, is
gotta
probably.
Say, I just got to say a shout out to Alex. We really miss you, and I wish you were here. And I just want to let you know.
That's true, too. Absolutely. Bonnie said she'd love to hear the altruism talk. You will eventually. I'm
Yes, you
sure
will,
that will be
'cause it
put
was
out
quite
on the
good.
YouTubes.
And
Actually, I think Bonnie might have purchased the virtual access to the conference, so it's just a matter of listening to it.
yes, I think so.
But either way, it'll be out there eventually. And what am I missing in the Facebook version of the chat? Or is this the YouTube one
This
here?
is YouTube here.
Okay, let me bring up Facebook. I just
Yep.
want to make sure I'm not missing out on
I
anything.
bet Jim is on Facebook chat right now, and maybe Jennifer. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's see what we got here.
Let's see. Oh, so I mean, so much has happened the last 72 hours. We've seen Yaron
true.
Brook do a live podcast from OCON, the live audience, and it was really nice. I got to teach my friend Paula some flamenco dance, and that was really special. I loved that so very much. I got to do some artwork while listening to the lectures, so I went ahead and I just kind of did a rough impression drawing of a speaker that we really like, Shoshana Milgram, and the audience members and her at the podium. So that was quite fun. And I think that
We've got a super chat. A super chat from Daniel Krause, $5, asks the question, what are you looking forward to? Thank you. Now you've got to see this. Because folks know that the Thursday show, which Daniel is the producer of, we have super chats.
Yes.
And you can ask us a question that's highlighted by the super chat box, and you have to buy that. You got to put a few dollars in to make that happen, and all of that money goes to the Ayn Rand Center UK. And we talked before about how, well, once we get our...
It's $5 US.
US dollar. Once we get our subscriber count up to 1,000 subscribers, we can start doing that on Sundays as well, but we can't yet. So how funny is that we have these super chat? So I will answer the question, what are you looking forward to? I am especially, more than anything else, looking forward to a talk called Why I Am Still Optimistic About the Future by Yaron Brook.
That's right.
And the funny thing is that Yaron has mentioned, and we saw him live doing his show from here, but also the weeks leading up to this, he has mentioned, I'm a little nervous about that talk. It's getting harder and harder to think about the reasons. And then he, of course, at the end reassures us, no, all of the reasons he's optimistic still stand. You've heard that optimism on this show. You've heard that optimism on Thursday. I want to hear Yaron's version because he knows stuff I don't know. And that's going to be good. So thank you for the super chat, the quote-unquote super chat question. Daniel Krause, very much appreciated.
Thank you, Daniel. You're the best.
We've got Jonathan Honig bought me a drink. Daniel Krause gave us a super chat.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it gets any better than this,
Nothing
but
gets better than this.
because I don't have my usual electronics and set up and separate computers for monitoring the YouTube chat and the Facebook chat, I'm late in getting to Facebook, where Jim Ashley, as always, has cogent comments. He says,
he's great.
there are 4 pieces in the National Gallery that are in Stories in Paint. Well, that's correct.
Yes.
And I should have mentioned Stories in Paint when I mentioned Luke Travers, so thank you for that. I told you the link is in the show notes. If you go to touchingtheart.com,
yes.
link is in the show
or
notes.
just type in Luke Travers, L-U-C.
You will see that book, and it's a picture book. It's a coffee table book, magnificent artwork, but also Luke Travers' unique way of appreciating art. It's easy, but it's immersive at the same time. You will love it if you get into it.
I did mention it, by the way, just a bit ago.
Oh,
when we were
okay.
looking
It's
at
because
that.
I'm.
But it's good to say
Yeah.
it twice.
So Jim says there are 4 pieces in there that are in Stories in Paint. Woman Holding a Balance by Vermeer.
Oh, yes.
Johannes Vermeer.
I
The
know that
Corinthian Maid
Which we
by
saw.
Joseph Wright of Derby.
Yep.
And one of the ones that we actually did the Touching the Art exercise on, that
Yep.
particular art appreciation, which is 2 Women at a Window
Yep.
by Bartolome Esteban Murillo, and The River of Light. Well, yeah, both of those. The River of Light we did as well by Frederick Edwin Church. So outstanding. Those are items number 16 through 19. Thank you for reminding us of that, Jim.
If you have a chance to go to an art gallery with Luke Travers,
Yes.
it is extremely worth it. It is unlike any kind of art experience you've ever had in your life, and his method of looking at art and engaging with art and experiencing art is unlike anything that you've ever seen. It's highly recommended. So there you are, Luke Travers.
Yes. So yeah, it was just the 2 from the book, though. It wasn't all 3 of them, was it?
Yes, 2 from the book.
2 from the So the
Yes.
2 from the book, because he asked,
there
were The
was
River of
one-
Light and it's funny too. 2 Women by a Window. It sounds so generic. And it's this magnificent
It's so,
piece, but it's the kind that you don't
delightful.
necessarily notice as magnificent until you spend some time with it.
Right.
And that's one of the great things about working with Luke on this. Luke will take you to an art gallery, and you will see 3 or 4, or maybe at the most 5 pieces. And you'll see other things as you walk by, but this isn't a case of going to an art gallery and trying to get everything in. No, this is a case of trying to get something substantial, something you actually connect with out of a few pieces. It's a great process. We talked about it before, we'll talk about it again. me
Yep,
just
so-
double check my chat here.
So while you do that, we also saw Jean Maroney, and she's amazing, just an amazing speaker, amazing thinker, amazing innovator in terms of, she has her thinking directions program, basically it's kind of a self-help sort of thing, but it helps you think. It helps you think rationally about your own life goals, and it's very recommended. So
Yes. Paulo Zeus says Honig in cool mode. When is Honig not cool?
I know.
But you're right, it is later
He
in the
is
day, and
super cool.
he's got the suit on, he's looking good.
Honestly,
and he's
I've
feeling
never-
casual. He's got
I
me
have-
feeling casual.
You know?
I don't drink much. We did that episode, Drunken Podcasting, and
Right.
that was the last time I remember drinking during
I
the
did
show.
3 tequila shots.
Well, you drank a lot more
And
than I did.
I was super sharp. I really was.
Although you can also hold your liquor much better than I can.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
So, one other thing that I found very delightful about being here at OCON is that I'm seeing people who I really like and I really appreciate. There was actually 2 young women who went up, and they were students, and they kept on asking questions, the last couple of days after a talk. And they were asking the most interesting questions, things that, they were just so insightful, such insightful questions and great answers to them by the speakers. And I went up to them today and I told them how much I appreciated their questions. And I wanted to offer encouragement to them, and it was just really delightful. I went up to other people and I gave them compliments. And by the way, that is a new Amy Nasir revolution that everybody should actually engage with, is giving compliments in a setting where you have great people, really excellent, talented, smart, intelligent people who also have a rational moral code that they do their best to live by, and they're good people. So,
Yes.
and it's just really a lovely thing to do that. So,
As you know, we did a whole show on compliments,
Yep.
topped off by the poem by Burton Braley that reminds us it's too late to tell people what you think of them when they're dead and in the ground. Do it
Right.
while you can make that happen. And in that regard, Jonathan Honig says, I'm an architecture guy
yeah,
because he's a class act. And
He is.
because he's a class act, he then says, sculpture makes me feel what Flanders felt about foot-long hot dogs. Okay, I don't know what Flanders
that
felt
is
about foot-long hot
a Simpsons reference.
A Simpsons, of
Yes.
course, Flanders. I know the name. I never watched the show. Obviously, I need to catch up on my culture.
Thank you, Jonathan.
I'm glad that Amy knows better than I do.
Oh, we got to hang out with a baby on when was it?
Oh,
Friday.
Sweet Baby James.
Yeah, Sweet Baby James.
That's one
and,
song I didn't play during karaoke.
Oh,
Maybe I'll do that
we
when
need
we
to
get.
do that.
We'll do it again on Wednesday.
Yeah, we got to see a
Maybe
baby.
I can make that happen.
Babies are helpless.
And Apollo
but
Zeus says
cute.
Jonathan Honig equals stud.
Yes.
So
I mean, he's like a spy. He's like some kind of international man of mystery, and he's going around.
now I'm a guy, and just an average, ordinary guy. So
Yeah.
obviously I wouldn't say Jonathan Honig is a stud, but Jonathan Honig is a stud. So that is correct
And
right
for,
there.
For all you ladies who want to find real studly men, come to
Yeah.
OCON.
And Shoshana's coming up in the chat again. She's so great.
Yeah, she is.
Shoshana Milgram is so great. She was the person who introduced me back in 1990 to the films of Howard Hawks.
Yes,
And
Only Angels Have Wings.
Only Angels Have Wings is a film we watched at that conference.
Highly recommended.
And so good. We talked about that before, but it won't be the last time. So, what are we coming up on 6:34 here?
Yeah.
Man, seems like
yeah.
it was longer than that because I've been rambling. Because I'm a rambling guy.
Well, I think, Daniel, would you like to go ahead and tell us what you're looking forward to? Oh, very good.
Oh, did we answer what we were looking forward to?
We'll answer it in a bit.
Okay. All right.
Yay, Daniel.
I'm looking forward to the poker night.
Poker
I'm
night.
going to win it.
Excellent. You're going
I
to win
hope
it.
so.
I think you are.
We mentioned Hilali Azaleh earlier. Her husband, David, runs the production company that's
Yeah.
used Poker Night. Now, we didn't sit in on it, but we saw it, and it's amazing. It's like a television program. All the graphics and screens. Now, how do you fare at this? Are you a pretty good poker player?
I don't know, because I only play against amateurs, so I never played against real.
So you usually do pretty well.
Yes,
Okay.
I beat all the professionals. So that's why I'm encouraging everyone here to go. So I have as many amateurs to go against.
Ah, if you're not very good at poker, make sure you're in on poker now. Okay. Now are there cash prizes or do all the monies go to the institute?
All the money is
Okay.
go, but
So
there
you're
are
just playing
bragging
for,
rights.
you're playing for fame, for pride, for bragging rights. Yeah, that's good.
But I think the first place might be something like OCON ticket, maybe.
If they give an OCON admission, that's gold. And when I was at Ayn Rand Con in London, England, we entered the Ayn Rand Fiction Trivia Contest. Amy came in second place.
Yes.
First place prize was a free ticket to OCON. Well, I ended up winning that one. That's $850 right there.
I was like 4th or 5th, I think.
So if you get that out of the poker game, I know we're not supposed to play for money, but at the regular price, that's $1,700.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
One thing, how did you like the idea of Ayn Rand University? So for those who are in the know, we've had the OAC, the Objectivist Academic Center, I think, and now that's basically been kind of rebranded and expanded to include more people from different walks of life, different studies, and all of that. And it's been streamlined, and it's kind of has a set price, and it's kind of cool. What do you think?
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. Because I'm in the first year, so I'm going to the second year. And I
Okay.
wonder what changes are there going to be.
Right.
So,
That's
really
very
excited for it.
So check that out when you have a chance. It's the Ayn Rand University. Our friend Don Watkins is helping with it, and a bunch of other people who are really talented are doing it, and so.
Well, Jonathan Honig says he likes the advice that Wesley Snipes offered in Passenger 57.
Okay.
Of course, I don't know, we don't usually get into the race issues, but Wesley Snipes says in Passenger 57, always bet on black. So, I don't know if that works for poker. Obviously,
Someone mentioned there's also going to be a blackjack table.
Oh,
very nice.
okay.
Very nice.
That's you still cannot bet on black, but it's a bit
well,
closer.
spades and clubs, yeah.
Yep.
I have no idea how that works. I'm a 5-card draw guy. I don't do the Texas Hold'em, so that would be a learning experience for me. Well, excellent. Now, do you have a favorite part of the OCON so far?
I think it was the talk that happened a bit ago. It was on Charles Dawkins.
You mean
Darwin.
You saw the Darwin talk.
Yeah, Darwin.
I have to watch that one in the playback.
Yeah.
That was great. I think the
That's
best
great.
talk so far.
Oh, good.
I think I have to say.
Excellent.
That's
really
great.
exciting.
Who was the speaker
It was
on
Robert
that?
Mayhew, right?
No.
Oh, that
it
was-
Was it Mike Meza?
No.
No.
Up. I have to look at
If
my
you
program
have it.
brochure here. We will get an answer. Because, of course,
Careful
we
with the
provide, we're drinking tonight, and we provide all of that
Oh, look at
information.
this beautiful ARI program. Hello there,
James
Mike.
Lennox,
James
the
Lennox.
inductive
Part of the
origins of Darwin's origin.
Come on over if you want to say hi to people.
That's right.
Our
The
audience.
world, all of the watchers of 5 Minutes with Robert Nasir. It numbers in the hundreds. So there
Can
you
I
go.
introduce everybody to Mike?
Mike Dart is on the camera.
He is the
Now,
best.
we didn't actually have an official winner of the talent show and karaoke contest,
Yeah.
but if we had, it very
Oh,
possibly
you're
could have
definitely
been
in
this
the running.
man.
You're in the running there, Mike. Yes. Yeah, Mike, he's saying, you spin me round by Dead or Alive, and
Now, the competition was stiff, especially after watching Mike dance. But he was up against people like, Rucka Ali
yeah, Chandler.
and,
It's really
and
amazing.
Tom Bowden, the guitar player,
Oh gosh, yeah.
and Amy Nasir.
Oh,
That was tough. Taking her down was difficult, but I powered through.
You
and-
know, I was really surprised at my performance of Time Warp, with the Rocky Horror film. But I don't think I really quite made it. But later on, you missed it, but later on, the last song I did was Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart. I totally nailed it.
Can't go wrong with Total Eclipse of the Heart.
I think the Time Warp might have worked if you'd had the costumes.
Right.
That I always find that helps with anything Rocky Horror is a lot better. Just get a gold painted person if you bring the spray paint next time.
Yeah, me and Steph and Molly, we were trying to look as slutty as possible while singing it, but I don't know if it really
As
worked.
one does.
So you're just too classy.
So favorite part of the
That's why
conference.
I'm there to balance out the classiness.
What has been your favorite part of the week so far?
Wow, that is always a tough question at these because they're so incredible. Honestly, karaoke last night was a lot of fun. You guys are fantastic, and I love hanging out with you every time I have an opportunity to do so. So thank you very much. Besides that, getting to the lectures, and particularly the ones like Ben Bayer's today
Yes.
about the genealogy of altruism, and getting the clarity around any given subject just always excites me intellectually
Yeah.
and makes me want to learn more and to apply whatever it is I've learned to anything I can in my life.
Not only is objectivism practical, but it's darn fun. So, I mean, it does actually give you the power to kind of see what's wrong with the world, but if you put all that aside, it's a party.
Well, I think the practicality is one of the reasons why it's fun, because
Yes.
it's not just pie in the sky ideas that have no application. It's that or ideas that that come from nowhere, but it's stuff that's grounded in reality,
Yeah.
that has applications to reality,
Right.
even if it's something seemingly abstract like epistemology or morality. I mean, I found that even with dance and theater, that
Yes.
being able to see things from an objectivist perspective and to have that philosophy
Right.
has made me better at both doing it and experiencing it.
I think one perspective that you get with objectivism that you don't get with any other philosophy in the history of mankind is that you can go and you can learn whatever you want to learn. You actually develop the confidence to the extent that you can actually grasp reality and knowledge and systems of thought, and you can basically sky's the limit. And it's a real confidence boosting philosophy.
Absolutely, it's it makes it a lot easier when you know where your ideas come from and you have something on which to base your new ideas and something against which to check them. There's less elements of uncertainty, or if there is uncertainty, it tends to be more of like do I have the knowledge around this, rather than is there something fundamentally wrong, or I don't know the basis of this and I'm running completely on my emotional conviction about it, rather than
Right.
having some rational reason for it.
Exactly. Well put, Mike.
Thank you.
Yes.
I can
So-
occasionally I do a little bit more than just grind my hips. The camera's too high for that this time, so I actually have to be intellectual.
Not that that wouldn't be
That's right.
enough, but
Yeah, I can stand on a chair.
Or on a table, that might be more stable. But no, that was. It's been a really exciting 72 hours, and I know, and we've got more to go.
Yeah.
We're only like.
we've only
days.
just begun. Yeah, we're not even halfway through.
Really, Saturday and Sunday are the 2 full days so far, and then you've got Monday is kind of a half day. That's tomorrow.
Independence Day.
And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are full days. So it's a lot going on here. So it's really fantastic.
It is.
And you get to see wonderful people like Mike.
Well, and wonderful people like you guys. Thank you for having me on.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
See you
for
guys later.
joining us.
Enjoy. Sure.
So Jonathan Honig says, well, these guys stay up all night, stay up late too. We don't stay up that late.
No, we don't.
The
Not
last
anymore.
one of these, we only stayed up all night once during the week. The other nights, we just stayed up late. But he also says they want to fracking strum a guitar at midnight. We're a family show, so I edited that. We do strum a guitar at midnight. That's
Yeah.
true. He says he turns into a pumpkin about them. Well, that's because you're on television at 6 o'clock in the morning talking
right.
about finance
True.
and other amazing
Jeremy,
stuff.
do you want to say something about OCON?
And there was one in here I had to read, but now I can't find it. Let's see here.
Well, shout out to Jeremy who needs a nap.
Yes, well, you get to the end of a week like this, we all need a nap. You
right
start
there.
feeling like you need a nap every afternoon. Bonnie says, you see what's wrong with the world, but even better, you see what's right about life. Nothing greater than the mind of man. Thank you for that, Bonnie. And that is the point. Why would I come to a conference like this just to grouse and moan. I could do that online. I could do that listening to anybody on Fox News or MSNBC, any of the channels. Pick your poison. And I am the last person to say that there aren't 1,000 things to be worried and concerned about in the world. But like Yaron Brook is going to deliver his speech, I will tell you that however bad things are right now, they have never been better. If you don't believe that, you don't remember the 1970s. Some of you are too old for that. What I don't understand are the people who are as old as me or older and think these are the worst times we've ever had. They don't remember Richard Nixon. They don't remember Jimmy Carter. They don't remember the gas crisis, the Iranian hostage crisis. They don't remember the protests of the late 60s. I don't mean to get into politics there, but that's what happens when Jonathan Hoenig is buying the drinks. So that's the risk of that. I'm just looking through the chat here. There's so much good stuff in here, but I want to make sure I didn't miss anything that I need to share out. Now, as usual, at the end of 5 minutes with Robert Nasir and Amy Nasir, we would normally give you a homework assignment. I would tell you what I'm doing this week and share it with you, but we're out of town. We're on vacation. The only thing going on here is learning and good times, and I hope you are doing the same thing. Incidentally, it's a public show, so I have to remind people, even though we're out of town, don't mess with my house because my house sitter doesn't need the aggravation, and she does know how to fire firearms. So that is covered there. And finally, the Post-it note of the week. Now, you know, every week I write a Post-it note and I put it either on my bathroom mirror or over my desk with one of those short lessons that we all know, or maybe we don't, but that reading all week will remind you to never forget. And you should never forget the things that you have to remember. And I didn't have a Post-it note for the week. My only Post-it note said, life's short, eat dessert first. And that's just because coming to a conference like this is actually kind of expensive. And you have to remind yourself, as Robert Anselm Heinlein told us, secret for a successful marriage, budget the luxuries first. So, life is short, eat dessert first, memento mori. Remember, someday you're going to die. But that's not the sad part. The sad part is if you die without ever having lived. But on a more practical note, we've talked about changes we're making to the show. We've made a few of them. You know, the show notes are already on YouTube. The shows are already available, posted with links ahead of time. Yep. Some of the stuff that, you know, our Thursday producer already knows all about, but it's taken us years to figure out. But at some point, yes, you do stop planning changes, stop planning improvements, stop the planning altogether. At some point, it's time to shoot the engineer. This comes courtesy of Sean Albert. I guess this was family wisdom that was passed down to him. At some point, once you know what to do, shoot the part of yourself that is saying, I should really think about this some more, and just do the damn thing. So that's my Post-it note for the week. I'm going to put that one up and remind myself of all the things I've thought, I should do this, but I really need to do more planning first. Do the planning. Yep. And then get the thing done. Shoot the engineer. Take that guy and say, you're through. Thank you. Now bye. And make it happen. Yes. Outstanding. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been one of the strangest episodes of 5 minutes.
If you'd like to support us.
If you would like to support us. Well, that's right. I have to do the end of the show routine. It's because I post the show notes ahead of time that's changed my routine. But as you know, you can support our show by going to robertnasir.com. You will see links to our Patreon and PayPal accounts. If you want to give us a monthly contribution, and you know you do, Patreon is the place to do that. You could commit $2 a month, and you would be in our hearts.
Or $200 a month.
You could commit $200 a month, and you'd be like in our whole body. That sounds so wrong. And don't you want to be wrong every now and then? Likewise, if you want to make a one-time contribution, paypal.com is the place. Link is at robertnasir.com. If you have suggestions for future shows, like don't do them when you're on vacation, you can post those in the 5 Minutes with Robert Nasir Facebook group. Link is also at robertnasir.com.
And there we go.
And there we go. And as always, we want to wish you every success you earn. You can get more success by coming to conferences like this, spending time with good people like this.
Yes, I want to thank all of the people who came over and said hello. So.
But whatever your poison, whatever your virtue, whatever it is you are doing to make this one life you've got the best life that it can be, we wish you every success. We wish you every value, and we wish you every reward that you so richly deserve. and have so justly earned.
Cheers.
And as always, and perhaps more so this week, because we're just having a great time here, we wish you love. Whoa, live audience.